Adventure or something in Sayreville.
Okay. Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah.
But it was just a very. I just went back and they stopped me. My parents are back there. Who's going to stop a 13-year-old kid in 1970s?
No.
They just go ahead back. And I went and finally, after about the 4th show, because I kept doing it, Dave looked over and he goes, "Who are you?" And I told him, and he's like, "Okay." And we kind of grew on each other over the years. I mean, it wasn't an instant friendship.
You kind of look a little bit like Dave Mason.
Well, back then I didn't. I had, powder blue mohawk.
But you thought to yourself, when I get older,
safety pins
I'm
in my
going to go bald
eye.
and just look a little bit like Dave. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I got to meet you. I'm glad you're helping our veterans out. It's a really great thing that you're doing. Rock Our Vets. And you can go to, what's the name of the website?
The website is rockourvets.org.
And before we go any further, I gotta talk about this great album. All right, who pilfered it? I got it. Ted, this is my favorite live album. I mean, I've heard a lot of live albums over the years, and they're only right. But this one, the sound quality on this and the vocals and everything, it was recorded in a rather intimate setting, a venue in North Carolina. Were you there for that?
I wasn't at that event, but I was on that tour. I did about a dozen of those shows with them.
Okay, so what do you do when you go on tour with Dave?
I set up in the lobby, the Rock Our Vet stuff, and I just do awareness to the audience that coming in about what we are, what we're doing. And Dave will sign a guitar, Steve signs guitars, and we auction them off at the show.
Wow, Steve Cropper. He is more well-known than people think. Why don't you tell us who he played guitar for?
Steve was house musician for Stax Records. I mean,
right? That Stax Records is like hot
co-wrote
stuff.
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. I mean, Blues Brothers movie. I mean, Play It Steve. That's Steve. Knock on Wood. I mean, some of these songs that you hear every day, you're like, oh, that was Steve Cropper.
Was Steve with Booker T and the MGs?
Yes, he was. Okay. Green Onions.
How about that? See?
There you go.
I'm not as dumb as I look. Yeah. Green Onions, that's a good one. Now, Dave, of course, is with Steve Cropper. How did they get together? Do you know the story behind that?
I do not know. I know, I do know that I think in Hawaii. They ran into each other in Hawaii.
They were hanging out with Graham Nash's Kona Coffee Farm,
and then they ran into... Fleetwood's got a little place over there, and I think that's all part of that same old group. And
I noticed they never invite me to any of their parties on the Big Island when they're all hanging out.
My phone ain't ringing either.
All of a sudden, they lose my number. So it's Dave Mason, Steve Cropper, Rock and Soul Review, featuring Gretchen Rhodes.
Amazing.
Tell us a little bit about Gretchen.
I only met her, with Dave, and I have not seen Dave have any background vocal people with them in years, and for him to bring someone out, she had to be special, and she was amazing. I've seen her, she opens up the show sometimes with Dave's band, and she'll go out and she'll do the front singing.
Oh, that's great.
And she's absolutely amazing. That's all best I could say.
You got to see Dave Mason, Steve Cropper's Rock and Soul Review featuring Gretchen Rhodes in concert. Dave always puts on a great show. And what I like about Dave is he sounds just the way he does on the studio versions. There's not too many people that can pull that off, And the effect on his microphone doesn't augment, doesn't how can I say, make up for any weakness. His raw vocals are just perfect.
His voice gotten stronger and better
over the years.
And his playing too.
Go figure.
I think right now he's at the prime. It's crazy, but
he makes his age the new 30s.
There you go.
I'm not even going to say what his age is.
His quote is, "Rock and roll is not an age; it's an attitude."
Yeah.